Hi everyone, welcome to Montage of Singapore. I am Mehak with you and I'm totally thrilled to welcome you one last time on the show. Tonight is going to be a show where I'll be seeing you for the last time this evening, but it is going to continue and we are going to have Renuka hosting the next episodes here on Montage of Singapore. A very beautiful concept curated and presented by Masti Media Network and supported by National Integration Council. Here on the show this evening, we'll be meeting a very special guest. As you know, that every episode will have a unique guest who has immense contribution towards integration of diverse people from different communities in Singapore. And tonight's guest is also very, very special and unique. I'll be introducing her to you in a while, but before that, let's have a look at last episode's highlights. Evening and welcome to Montage of Singapore. My guest is very, very interesting. She believes in feeding people some really nice food.
So the influences that I've had in my life actually is a little bit like Rojak. I actually took Malay as my second language.
What are you saying?
Yeah, so I understand Mandarin. I used to watch Mandarin drama serials growing up.
Where you want to go?
Ayo, uncle, why you turn right? You're supposed to turn left. So chop chop means hurry up.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other one is don't be such a yaya papaya. You know, it sort of brings a smile to your face when you hear that accent. They're from Singapore.
Home.
Yes, PSLE.
Huh?
Yeah. So that's one thing I guess we could sort of maybe do without. In a way, we were always told that charity always begins at home. Like we've got two pretty old aunties, so they are Malays, and it was so important for me to make sure that she still has a job. So the MPs actually within the constituencies are actually doing stuff to sort of bring the different communities together, which is really, really good. But so she's someone who empowers women and sort of encourages women entrepreneurship. I mean, she's a great leader as well. So I think
take your leave till we meet again. This is Mehak signing off. I'm sure that you enjoyed the highlights of the last episode. And on this episode of Montage of Singapore, I am Mehak and I am totally thrilled to welcome our guest for the evening. But before I just get her into the picture, let me tell you that she's a firecracker woman who's a business leader in so many ways, and she roots for other women in business in Singapore. She is somebody who works towards the upliftment of Indian business community as well, and is the founder of LISHA's Women's Wing. For the past 11 years, she's been doing some fabulous work, and also she is one of the people who is the grassroots leader in the Citizen Consultative Committee and Community Emergency Engagement in Singapore. Apart from holding many more such community contribution positions, I'm going to introduce tonight's guest to you, and let's have her in the spotlight now. In the spotlight this evening on Montage of Singapore, we have Joyce Kingsly with us. A very warm welcome to you, Joyce.
Thank you, Mehak. Thank you so much for having me in this show. And thank you for wearing the sari.
Let me tell everyone right here that, you must have not seen me in a sari on screen before, but Joyce called me the other day and she said, so Mehak, what do you think we should be wearing on the show? I said, it's up to you. She said, how about a sari? And I was like, okay, yeah, feel free to wear a sari. And then she's like, why don't you also wear a sari? And I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, thank you for making me wear a sari.
That's it. You look lovely, lovely.
Thank you. So I'm going to wear saris now from here onwards, once in a while, without the Diwali parties only time. So thank you. You're looking lovely yourself. I love the combination. It's so vibrant, and I like the bindi that you're wearing. So
thank you,
super
Mehak.
cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So Joyce, of course, you are a business person yourself. You have helped so many women in business in Singapore, especially from the Indian community, and you've rooted for them, you worked with them, and you've made sure that they succeed. All of this we know, okay? But what we want to know this evening is your story from your own lens. So what is your Singapore story? If I had to ask you to introduce yourself, what would you say?
Sure. I was born and brought up in Singapore. Dad actually came to Singapore from India at the age of 14 years old from his village. Those times there was no flights, so he came in the ship. So that was 1950s when he came here, and the person who actually brought him to Singapore had passed on. So actually initially he struggled a lot, but then later he managed to establish himself, and then he started his own business, got married and got 4 children. Yes, the first one was a boy, second a girl, the third one was a boy, and the last one, he was expecting another boy.
To help him with the business.
Yes, because of just for extra hands in his various business. Unfortunately, the 4th one was Joyce Kingsly, a girl.
What a proud little girl.
Yes, but in the end, the 4th child is the one who's looking after the business now.
See, he must have never imagined.
Yeah.
So well done. So you help your dad with his business, so that is your business as well. So you.
Yes, correct.
So what kind of business is that?
So it has been in existence for more than 60 years now, because he started in the 60s. So it's a meat business, meat, poultry and seafood. We have a physical shop in Little India.
How cool.
Yes, and supply to restaurants and home deliveries as well.
So, so you run that business.
Yes.
And you also run LISHA's women's wing that you founded in Singapore about 11 years back, is that correct?
10 years back,
10 years back.
So, yes, yes.
So, you have been very instrumental in bringing the women's wing of LISHA to the forefront. Then, what have been the highlights of the journey? How did it come along, and what exactly do you do with that?
Yes. So LISHA Women's Wing, because I was in the main LISHA at that time, like LISHA's like a 14-year-old commitment so far. So at a later stage, there came a proposal to form a LISHA Women's Wing. So I formed a committee, and I was very determined that I'm going to do something really different. My focus was to uplift women and empower them. So I developed a different concept, like I decided that we should meet on a regular basis. It cannot be once in 6 months. It cannot be once in a year. We have to meet on a monthly basis. That's where the bond is developed. So that's where I develop a concept of networking sessions and awareness programs to alternate every month. So in that networking sessions, we actually had business presentations. We had little shops for the ladies to actually showcase and sell their products, as well as little hands-on workshop. We had guest speech. We have inspirational speech.
So it's basically empowering these women as
so
well.
all in one event with buffet dinner, because they're coming after work.
I'm not coming in for that one, for the buffet, for sure.
Sure, sure. Most welcome too.
But this is a wonderful initiative, I must say.
Yes.
But at the same time, how do you make sure that there is, enough interaction for these women and they feel comfortable, not only with the Indian community, but also with community outside of only Indian diaspora in Singapore? Is there any initiative that you guys take?
Yes. So that's part of the main LISHA, whereby we conduct the year-round events of month-long celebrations of Pongal, Deepavali, whereby almost thousands of people actually visit Little India for the lighting, and we have weekend little activities where all races take part. So we have, it's always very fascinated for the other races to come into Little India during these times.
Yes.
And they come in and, involve in little activities like even sari tying, rangoli, all these activities. So that's where they get to learn about the Indian culture.
That's wonderful. What a joy. And here in our show, Montage of Singapore, we are going to also get into a very special part. But before we get into that, let me tell you that this show is going to be interactive. We are really very happy to get response from you, any comments, any messages, any feedback that you want to give to us. Feel free to write it just right here under the comments section. And you can also write into us in our email. And with that, it is time that we get into our next part of the show called Joy of Singapore. Okay, Welcome back to Joy of Singapore right here on Montage of Singapore. And in this section, I'm going to ask Joyce some questions, and also there'll be some questions for the audience, and there might be some questions for you from the audience as well.
Sure.
So, okay. So you've been in Singapore all your life, born and brought up here. You have your family here, your friends here. I'm sure that there has been no point or any place in Singapore that you might have not explored. So my question, the first question on Joy of Singapore is actually, is there anywhere in Singapore you have yet to explore?
Well, yeah, I've been to all parts, but you know what? I haven't been to the National Stadium after its major renovation, which is called Sports Hub now.
What are you saying?
I've not been.
You're not going to any of the concerts?
Well, it's always at other venues, and yeah, come to think of it, I've not been to the sports hall. Embarrassing, but yeah,
Serious?
that's
Oh
true.
my God, there was Blackpink and there was no space to move around there last weekend. But, yeah, so I think you should go there. It's a beautiful area and very interesting. I would not think of anybody coming up, with the sports hub here, but well done. Okay. One question that we ask all our guests on the show, and this one is, if you left Singapore, what would you miss the most and what would you miss the least?
Apart from food.
Apart from food.
I mean, how to do without nasi lemak? Yeah, apart from food, the clean water from the tap, where you can just drink, that's one thing. Yeah, food, the clean water. Compared to other countries, the less traffic. I would really appreciate sometimes the traffic situation in Singapore. It's not too bad compared to other places. And the safety. Yeah, lots of things. I can keep going, actually. Yes.
And I would like to tell the viewers, if you crib this evening about the traffic in Singapore, I don't think there will be much because it's Sunday. But just listen and remember what Joyce just said, that the traffic in Singapore is not that bad after all.
Bad after all, true, yes.
And what is one thing that you will miss the least if you had to go out of Singapore?
I can't think of any. Maybe it's just the heat. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything.
So you love
Yes,
almost everything
I
here.
love almost everything of Singapore.
You're a good
And
girl.
I'm glad my dad actually chose Singapore at the age of 14, right? I'm so glad he did not go anywhere else, but he chose Singapore. Yes.
Oh my God, that's cute. And I think you also have two daughters who are here
Yes,
in
two
Singapore
daughters
itself.
in Singapore.
And they love Singapore as much as you do?
Yes, they do.
And do they help you out with your community work here?
Here and there, the family comes together to support. At times, not always. We have 20 events a year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so we've done, in this 10 years, we've actually done 200 events for LISHA Women's Wing alone.
Wow.
Yeah, but more than that achievement is just that we brought many ladies together. It's like the network became so small, and that's where the ladies got a lot of guidance, a lot of inspiration, motivation, and to keep going and to reach their goals.
That's really, really nice to hear. And okay, and there are some questions and some people want to say something to you. Is it okay if I take some of the questions from the audience who are watching Montage of Singapore at this point of time? Okay. So we have Leelavati Annamalai saying, awesome, Joyce. So happy to see you. Excellent.
Thank you, Leelavati.
And she also says that, I think she is referring to the question that I asked about you leaving Singapore and what would you miss? And she said food and friends to that.
Yes.
And we also have one more question for you here from one of the viewers this evening. And they're saying, hi, Joyce. How can the glaring divide between Tamil and non-Tamil speakers in Singapore get narrow? And this person says, Masti Media Network is doing a great job. Thank you. You're welcome. So how do you think that this divide, could be narrowed down or can become lesser?
Well, back to LISHA, okay. We do have events whereby we invite all the ethnicities, the different Indian ethnicities to come together. And even the last event was the Indian New Year, whereby all the committees came together. And it was a great network and icebreaker. And that formed a really a good friendship between everybody. It was a good integration on its own within the Indian community itself. Yes.
So you are already doing, and then
Yes.
going forward, doing more such initiatives could also
It is a yearly
help us
affair.
bring.
It is a yearly affair, and sometimes more than once or twice a year.
Okay, thank you so much for being honest and transparent and sharing this with us. And with that, it is time that we move to our next segment where we ask a question for our audience. And so I'm going to take you to the audience trivia question round right here on Montage of Singapore. Welcome back to Montage of Singapore, and here this evening a very special question for the audience. And if you have been answering all the questions on our shows, then well, we are just there to pick up one lucky winner who would be here on the show with us, and we'll be talking to you very, very soon in one of the episodes. So listen and see this question very carefully on your screens. Which part of the Singapore flag symbolizes universal brotherhood and equality of man? Option A, crescent moon. Option B, white part. Option C, red part. Option D, 5 stars. So what is your answer? You have to choose your answer, right, A, B, C, D, whichever is your answer, and post it here in comments. And if you want to go through all the questions that we have asked in all our shows, well, you can do that on our Instagram handle as well, which is Montage of Singapore. You can go there, answer all the questions, and well, you could be the one who comes on the show. But let me tell you, people have been answering over the weeks, and we are getting some great response. So thank you so much for your clear communication, love, support, and answers here on the show. We will be letting you know who the winner is, and then we will be inviting the winner on our show Montage of Singapore, which you can watch on the weekends, as well as some of the shows will be telecast over the weekdays. You'll be getting more details. You can go to our Instagram handle to get more details about the same. So well, that was the part where I asked you a question, the audience trivia round. I'm going to put my cards down, and here is a time where I am going to move to a part where we'll talk about some of the great community work that our guests have been doing and the initiatives. So let's get to the community champion part of the show.
Available anywhere across the world with the app Radio Masti 24/7. The 24-hour station offers a vast variety of programs filled with local, global and Indian content along with Bollywood gossip and updates. Make sure you add Masti to your lives. Download the app today and stay energized and connected on the go. Radio Masti 24/7 Live, Singapore's only Bollywood radio since 2009.
Welcome back to Montage of Singapore. This is Mehak with you, and you're watching this special show that aims at bringing diverse communities and people together on one platform and speak about how we can make it better, this wonderful place we call home, in terms of racial harmony and integration. Well, I have our special guest for the evening, Joyce Kingsly, on the show, and she's a fabulous person, and your smile is so nice, I must tell you.
Thank
And
you,
you
Mehak.
have
Yours
some
too.
really cool comments coming, Joyce. I want to just go through that as well. So, Alamalu Manga is saying that, hi Joyce, great job, nice seeing you, very informative. And Pugal Reva is saying, hi Joyce, your contribution to our society is really amazing, keep rocking. And Lalita is saying hello, so hello to you. And how are you feeling? You're happy on the show?
Certainly, it's feel very honored and humbled to be here. Thank you so much to Masti Media as well as National Integration Council.
How wonderful. Okay, so there is one more message here, which is here right now, and that says, my sister and I have seen all the hard work Mom has put in over the years in her career and commitments with the community. Proud of you, Mom. Oh my God, Sylvia, what a wonderful comment. You want to say something to her on the camera?
Hi, Sylvia. Thank you so much for tuning in. I thought Sunday you'll be so busy, but thank you so much for the kind words. Love you.
Oh my God, this is so cute. Rooting you from the house. It's amazing. Well done, Sylvia. I wish all the daughters were like you and they could also, you know, go and encourage their moms to do all the wonderful work that all the moms are, you know, doing in the world at this point of time. So, going to our community champion part of the show, you've been a champion in so many ways. You know, you have done some wonderful work. And you have been awarded and honored at several forums as well. What is that particular area of community work that is closest to your heart?
As mentioned earlier, I think it's the bringing people together. That's one very heartening thing when people actually benefit from from what we offer. It's not about just staying within the four walls, but actually they come out and then they learn something new. They get some guidance. They get to form the sisterhood and then room for collaborations. So when what we offer is being accepted and recognized and beneficial to the people, that is the most heartening thing. Not about the number of events that we do, but when people benefit from what we offer, then that is the most heartening thing.
That means when it actually brings about a change in people's
Yes,
life or the required change for that matter.
Yes, correct.
That's sweet.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that with us. And do you believe there is a need for initiatives to encourage more racial harmony in Singapore?
Yes, certainly, because racial harmony should be an ongoing thing, because times change, people change, people's thoughts change, situations change. So racial harmony is something that should be enhanced all the way, and the community centers are doing a great job. Different associations are doing a great job. In the CC, there's interracial and religious harmony groups, whereby a lot of events are conducted, and it's very important for people to get to know each other's culture, each other's practices. Why do we do this?
Correct.
If there's an understanding which is developed, then it's harmony all the way. It's all about understanding why each other's practice and appreciate. Once we get to actually involve sometimes hands-on practices, attend each other's events, dress according to each other's culture, it's something interesting, and a lot of understanding actually develops there. And
yeah, there is definitely need. Some things are being done.
Yes.
What do you think more can be done in terms of increasing the racial harmony in Singapore, or from the point of view of the immigrants? How can they, kind of help in increasing the racial harmony or making it better?
Yes. The thing is that we can only offer, and it is up to them to come forward and participate and benefit from there. So we should reach out to many people as far as possible, conduct many different types of activities which may actually interest a various wide range of people. So not only conducting for the same old people, but a wider reach, and that is where it's more successful, when we get more immigrants to come forward, break the ice and participate in such events.
So you're saying that there are opportunities, but you need people to be more proactive.
Yes, we can only provide. It's up to them to come forward and participate in all these activities.
I hope you guys listen to that one. Very important. So if you know that there is something which is happening around your area, or you get to hear about it, please do come forward, participate in these events and initiatives so that we can have a better interaction and racial harmony in this place which is very close to our heart. And now here it is time that I take a very small break, and on the other side of the break I come back. I have something special for you, Joyce. Welcome back to Montage of Singapore, and as you guys can see, I have something very special with me this evening, and this one is for you, Joyce, a beautiful skyline of Singapore,
So
limited
lovely.
edition.
And I see that at the background as well. This is so lovely, and it's going to be a new edition in my purple office.
How lovely. So this is
Thank
for
you
you.
so much.
There are only 13 of its kind, and it is specially clicked and beautifully done up here by 9 Studios. So
Truly, truly gorgeous. I love it. Thank you so much, Masti Media and National Integration Council. for
I'm
having
so
me.
glad that Joyce is here this evening with us on the show, and it has been a great talk, a great chat with her. She is a wonderful person. I totally enjoyed talking to her. But before I bid goodbye to you, why don't you introduce our next guests
My
on the show?
pleasure, my pleasure. So next episode will be the youth. The youth are the ones who are going to be the leaders of tomorrow. They are the ones who are going to shape Singapore. So next episode, we are going to have not one, but 2 youth who have grown up in Singapore, who have been had their education here, served NS, and we are going to listen to their views.
Thank you so much, Joyce, for that. And I think, let me just see, there could be some comments as well as people are watching the show right now. And I was thinking that, I'll be saying bye to her
Yeah.
now, but I'm glad that there is a, question right now, and it is from Nirmala Nimi, and she says, Joyce is one of the most hardworking and super responsible women I have ever met.
So kind of Nimi. Thank you so much, Nimi.
Whatever the circumstances, however bad it is, she is calm. That is her superpower. Her love and passion for the community is amazing. Proud of you, Joyce.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
And we also have a question from Leelapati, and she says, can LISHA encompass ladies who are in the workforce as well, not just the business women?
Certainly. LISHA is open to all races, not confining to Little India. It's for everyone in all over Singapore, all races. So it's not only for business women, we have individuals who come and benefit from the networking sessions. Certainly, Leelavati, you're most welcome.
Well, okay, so you know the answer to that. And while I'm asking this, there is one more question that says, you've been a grassroots leader for about 11 years in the Citizen Consultative Committee. Can you share more on how, as a member of the committee, you ensure parity across ethnicities and interest groups?
Okay, so the grassroots involvement. So initially, I was actually in the emergency engagement, citizen C2E, which is actually...
What is that?
Yes, C2E is actually engaging during, handling crisis situations, emergencies, first aid. So this is what C2E does. So I was there for 5 years, and then we actually go around house to house, attending to any crisis situations that come by, educating on first aid. Yes, so that was, it was a very good community engagement whereby all races are actually engaged in this. Then later on, for CCC, what happened was, CCC is a committee where all the chairmen of the various committees in the, are sitting in it, Citizen Consultative Committee. So I was invited specially in it because there was this cluster of private estates which did not have a resident committee for many years. For almost 40 years, they did not have a resident committee. So I, as an individual, upon the minister's request, helped to form this committee. I mean, attempts before I heard that there was a failure. So I, as an individual, I went house to house, got to know the interested residents who may want to sit in the committee. So I successfully formed that resident committee for the
in that
cluster
area.
of 3 neighborhoods.
How
3
lovely is that?
private neighborhoods. So that is how I had this invitation to come into CCC.
Great work, Joyce, and we wish you that you continue to do some great initiatives and work here in Singapore.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you
this
so
evening.
much, Mehak. You're so lovely. Thank you so much.
Well, that was Joyce Kingsly with us here on Montage of Singapore. And with that, time has just flown by, and it's time that I take your leave. But you know what? Tomorrow evening, we have a special episode of Montage of Singapore, which Renuka will be seeing you with the 2 very special guests as well. So do not forget to tune into that. This is Mehak signing off, and I shall see you some other time.